night sky.
He looked up. He saw the night sky. There were many stars in the sky. He looked for a while. The stars were beautiful. They were shining brightly. They looked like diamonds. He remembered a song. He looked at the moon. The moon was in the night sky. It gave the moonlight. The moon looked white. It looked like cheese. He wondered about it. A man had walked on the moon. He imagined walking on the moon. He imagined the moon being cold. He looked at the constellations. There were many of them. Constellations are what groups of stars look like. They have different names. He saw the Big Dipper. He saw the Little Dipper. He could also see Orion's belt. It was an amazing sight. He looked up every night. He believed in aliens. He hoped to see one. The night sky is full of wonders.
Late to class.
He stood in the hall. He looked around him. There were many doors. He did not know which door was the right door to enter. He was lost at school. It was going to be 12. He was going to be late. It was his first day of college. His class was in room 190. He looked at all the doors. They each had a number, but there were no rooms numbered 190. He did not know what to do. He asked a stranger, "Where is room 190?" The stranger did not know. He asked another stranger. She also did not know. No one knew where room 190 was. He checked his notebook, where he wrote down his classroom number. It was not room 190. It was room 140. Room 190 did not exist. He ran to room 140. He was 1 minute late.
A hot day.
It was a hot day. The sun was shining brightly. There were no clouds in the sky. He walked along the street. He was going home. He was hot and tired. He could not wait to get home. He was almost there. It was nearly 100 degrees. There was not another soul in sight. Everybody was at home. His car was not working. He had to walk to his bank. He did not know it was so hot. The bank was not too far. The heat made it seem far away. His throat was dry. He was thirsty for water. He walked with sweat on his back. He arrived home. He went straight to the kitchen. He drank a big cup of water. He took off his clothes. He went to the bathroom. He took a cold bath. It was so refreshing. He stayed in the bath.
Summer day at the pool.
It was a hot summer day. She was in her room. The fan was on, but it blew hot air. She did not want to be home. It was too hot. She thought of what to do. Her cell phone vibrated. She picked it up. She received a text message. It was from her friend. The text read, "Let's go to the pool." She replied with yes. She got ready immediately. She grabbed her towel, sunscreen, sunglasses, and shampoo. She also packed her bathing suit. She went to the pool. Her friends were in the pool. She went to the lockers. She changed into her bathing suit. She applied her sunscreen. She jumped in the pool. The water was cool and refreshing. She splashed around with her friends. She no longer felt hot. She stayed in the pool all day.
Scary movie.
It was nighttime. He was home using his computer. His friend messaged him. The message was an invitation. He was invited to the theaters. He said yes to the invitation. He shut down his computer. He got ready to leave. He grabbed his wallet and drove to the theaters. His friends were waiting for him. "What movie are we watching?" he asked his friends. They were going to watch a scary movie. He did not like scary movies. He was a big chicken when it came to watching scary movies. He watched the movie anyway. They bought their tickets and went inside. They took their seats. The movie started to play. It was the scariest he had ever seen. Everybody went home. After he got home, he was too scared to sleep. He turned on all his lights. He regretted watching that movie.
Break-in.
He woke up suddenly. He heard glass shattering. It was really loud. He sat up on his bed. He listened for noise. He heard footsteps. There was someone downstairs. It was a break-in. He went to his closet and grabbed his bat. He was not afraid. He slowly went downstairs. He sneaked his way to the stairs. He looked down the staircase. It was really dark. He saw the shadow of a man. He was dressed in black. There was no light. He walked down the stairs. He did not make a sound. The shadow was going through drawers. It was a robbery. He got closer to the shadow. His heart was racing. He took a deep breath. He ran at top speed. He hit the shadow over the head. The shadow fell to the ground. He called the police.
Henry the Strong Man.
Henry was a strong man. He could carry heavy things. He had no problem helping you move. Mary asked Henry if he could help her. He said sure. Mary owned a lot of furniture. Henry carried it all. He put it in the moving van. He did not struggle. He was strong and able. "Thank you, Henry," Mary said. "Not a problem," Henry said. He was happy to help. Henry was walking down the street. He saw something as he was walking. There was a man in a car. The car would not start. There were other cars behind him. He was blocking the road. Henry took action. He went behind the car. He pushed with all his might. He moved the car. It was out of the way. The man thanked Henry. "You are strong," said the man. Henry agreed. He waved goodbye.
Guitar man.
He played the guitar. He sang the blues. It was his hobby. He was talented. Everybody told him that. He practiced all day long. His practice paid off. He was the best guitar player in town. His friends were impressed. He always carried his guitar. He carried it behind his back. He took it to the park. He sat down on a bench. He began to play. People walked by. They noticed his music. He would get tips. It was fun for him. Performing in front of others is great. He sometimes felt nervous. The feeling of excitement was greater. People called him the Guitar Man. He was known all around. It was his nickname. He played his guitar at school. He played his guitar on the train. Playing the guitar was his passion. He played until his fingers hurt. He stopped for a minute. He would start to play again.
Comic books.
Comic books are illustrated stories. He loved comic books. He had many comic books. They were all on a shelf. His friends collected comic books too. He sometimes traded comic books with them. He read comic books all night. He turned off the lights. He grabbed a flashlight. He sat up in bed. He wrapped a blanket around him. He stayed up reading his comic books. He had a fun time. He went to the comic book store. He went each Friday after school. The comic book store was great. It had new issues of comics. His favorite comic book hero was Spider-Man. He bought all his issues. He stayed at the comic book store. There was a couch inside. He did not always have money. He read the new comic book issues in the store. He saved his allowance for comic books.
Music festival.
The music festival was today. He was ready to go. His favorite singer was performing. He packed his autograph book. He hoped to get close enough. He wanted his autograph. He was determined to get it. He left early to the music festival. He arrived in 1 hour. He had a hard time finding parking. He parked far from the festival. It was the closest parking he could find. He walked half a mile. He got to the festival. He found a seat near the front of the stage. He waited for the music festival to begin. It was not long before it started. The music festival began. He looked around. There were hundreds of people. Everybody was moving and jumping. The music started playing. His favorite singer went on stage. He wanted his autograph. He got onto the stage. He got his autograph.
Skyscraper.
He was on the highest floor of a tall building. The building was a skyscraper. He was with his dad. His dad worked on the building. He met his dad's co-workers. They were all kind. he asked his dad a question. Is it not scary working so high up? Dad answered no. He said it was not noticeable. His son noticed. He kept thinking about it. They were so high in the sky. He imagined the building falling down. He was scared of heights. His dad told him not to think about it. He could not stop thinking about it. It was time to go home. They went down the elevator. It was a long ride. He did not want to come back. It was too frightening for him.
Parade.
It was fun going to the parade. He went to the parade every year. He never missed going. The parade was tomorrow. He was going with his girlfriend. His girlfriend's name was Mary. This year, he planned on bringing his little sister. His little sister had not gone to a parade. It was her first time going. She was excited. It was the day before the parade. They made their plan. They had to wake up early. They had to bring snacks and water. They also had to wear comfortable shoes. The parade lasted all day. The day of the parade came. Everything went according to plan. The parade was amazing. They saw marching bands. They saw parade floats. Some of them were big. The parade ended in the afternoon. They were tired, but they were happy. They went back home. "Can we come back again?" his little sister asked. He smiled at her. She knew the answer already.
Playing in the snow.
It was winter time. The snow was coming. She was excited. She waited for the snow to start falling. She looked out her window every day. The snow had not come. She asked her brother why. Her brother said it was coming. She had to wait. She waited for a few weeks. She was giving up hope. One day, she woke up. She went to her window. She did not believe it. It was finally snowing. She jumped for joy. The snow looked beautiful. She ran to her closet. She put on her winter clothes. She ran outside. She played in the snow. It was so much fun. She played all day in the snow. She made snowmen and igloos. Tomorrow she would play again. She loved the snow.
Class time.
He entered his classroom. He quickly took a seat. He was a minute late. The professor was calling names. It was his first day of college. He was sweating. He had been running around looking for his classroom. It took him some time to find the classroom. "David," the professor called. He raised his hand. He was out of breath. He took out his inhaler. He took a puff from his inhaler. It gave him breath. He took out his notebook and a pen. The professor started talking. He took notes. He always took notes in class. It was a good habit. He studied his notes after class. He was a good student. He wanted only good grades.
Making friends.
"What is your name?" he asked her. "My name is Linda," she answered. "What is your name?" Linda asked. "My name is Brian," he answered. They knew each other's names. They became friends. Brian was tall and skinny. Linda was a little shorter than Brian. She was also skinny. Brian and Linda had black hair. Brian asked Linda if she was busy. She told Brian she was not. "Want to go to the coffee shop?" Brian then asked. Linda said sure. They walked to the coffee shop. It was nearby. Brian opened the door for Linda. Linda said thank you. They bought their coffee. They sat down to drink it. They talked to each other. Brian learned about Linda. Linda learned about Brian. The two were alike. Brian walked Linda home. "It was nice meeting you," Linda said to Brian. "Likewise," Brian replied.
Ice skating.
It was winter. The streets were covered with snow. The air was cold outside. She was at a friend's house. They did not know what to do. She sat in the living room. Her friend sat beside her. They put on a movie. The movie was boring. They stopped playing the movie. She got out a board game. They started playing. The board game was missing pieces. They stopped playing. "What do we do now?" she asked her friend. "Let's go ice skating," the friend said. They went to an ice skating rink. They left in a car together. They arrived at the place. There were a lot of people skating. They bought their pass. They put on their figure skates. They skated on the ice. She slid a couple of times. They ice skated for hours. It was so much fun. They left around 8 o'clock. They went back the next day.
Mowing the lawn.
It was the middle of the day. He looked out his window. He saw his lawn. The grass looked long. He decided to mow the lawn. He stepped into his garage. His mower was in there. He got his lawn mower. He turned it on. It started moving. The engine made a loud noise. The engine sputtered and stopped. He got off his lawnmower. He inspected the engine. It had broken. He took it back inside the garage. He opened his toolbox. He repaired his lawnmower. He turned it on again. It was working. He mowed his lawn. It took him half an hour to finish. He took his lawn mower back inside. He went back into the house. He looked out the window. The lawn looked nice. He loved his lawn.
Question for the teacher.
Class ended at 2 o'clock. The teacher dismissed the students. Anna rose from her seat. She grabbed her things. She had a backpack and a sweater. She had a question to ask. She waited for the teacher. Some students also had questions to ask. There was a line to see the teacher. She got in line. She had a question about an assignment. The teacher spoke to students one at a time. She waited a while. It was finally her turn to ask. "How can I help you?" the teacher asked. She asked her question. The teacher gave her the answer. She was glad to hear it. She thanked the teacher, who smiled and said, "No problem." She went on her way. Class ended at 2 o'clock. The teacher dismissed the students. Anna rose from her seat. She grabbed her things. She had a backpack and a sweater. She had a question to ask. She waited for the teacher. Some students also had questions to ask. There was a line to see the teacher. She got in line. She had a question about an assignment. The teacher spoke to students one at a time. She waited a while. It was finally her turn to ask. "How can I help you?" the teacher asked. She asked her question. The teacher gave her the answer. She was glad to hear it. She thanked the teacher, who smiled and said, "No problem." She went on her way.
Morning.
He wakes up. He sees the sun rise. He brushes his teeth. His teeth are white. He puts on his clothes. His shirt is blue. His shoes are yellow. His pants are brown. He goes downstairs. He gets a bowl. He pours milk and cereal. He eats. He gets the newspaper. He reads. He wakes up. He sees the sun rise. He brushes his teeth. His teeth are white. He puts on his clothes. His shirt is blue. His shoes are yellow. His pants are brown. He goes downstairs. He gets a bowl. He pours milk and cereal. He eats. He gets the newspaper. He reads.
Water on the floor.
She is thirsty. She gets a glass of water. She begins to walk. She drops the glass. There is water on the floor. The puddle is big. She gets a mop. She wipes the water off. The floor is clean. She gets another glass of water. She drinks it. She is happy. She is thirsty. She gets a glass of water. She begins to walk. She drops the glass. There is water on the floor. The puddle is big. She gets a mop. She wipes the water off. The floor is clean. She gets another glass of water. She drinks it. She is happy.
A doctor.
Sam is a doctor. He takes care of people. He smiles at them. He gives them medicine. He gives stickers to the younger patients. The younger patients like him. They see him when they are sick. He makes them feel better. This makes him happy. He loves his job. He goes home proud. Sam is a doctor. He takes care of people. He smiles at them. He gives them medicine. He gives stickers to the younger patients. The younger patients like him. They see him when they are sick. He makes them feel better. This makes him happy. He loves his job. He goes home proud.
Reading.
The book is in the library. Jody goes to the library. She wants to borrow it. She uses her card to check it out. She takes the book back home. She sits on the couch. She reads the first page. It is good. She reads 20 more pages. It is not that good anymore. Jody returns the book. The book is in the library. Jody goes to the library. She wants to borrow it. She uses her card to check it out. She takes the book back home. She sits on the couch. She reads the first page. It is good. She reads 20 more pages. It is not that good anymore. Jody returns the book.
First day of school.
He goes to class. There is an empty seat in front. He sits in the seat. He looks around. There are different people. He says hi to the girl next to him. She smiles. The teacher comes in. She closes the door. Everyone is silent. The first day of school begins. He goes to class. There is an empty seat in front. He sits in the seat. He looks around. There are different people. He says hi to the girl next to him. She smiles. The teacher comes in. She closes the door. Everyone is silent. The first day of school begins.
Banana Nut Muffin.
Mary goes to the store. The store is very big. The store sells bakery goods. Mary sees a carrot cake. She does not like carrots. She sees a banana nut muffin. It looks good. It costs $2. She buys it. She takes the wrapper off. She takes a big bite. It is crunchy on the outside. It is soft on the inside. Mary goes to the store. The store is very big. The store sells bakery goods. Mary sees a carrot cake. She does not like carrots. She sees a banana nut muffin. It looks good. It costs $2. She buys it. She takes the wrapper off. She takes a big bite. It is crunchy on the outside. It is soft on the inside.